so we've talked about some big issues, corporate personhood, the Federal Reserve, its impact on us. How has these things impacted us right here at home locally? Candace Jones is going to share that information with us.
I started a banking career in 1972. That's right at 40 years ago. And with a savings and loan, and worked my way through corporate. This was around during the time when the Glass-Steagall Act was still in effect, before the Granley-Filey Act took over and wiped it out. When that happened, it allowed banks to gamble with your money. The purpose of the Glass-Steagall Act was to stop them from doing it. But in the Clinton era and after Reaganomics, they decided that why not start gambling, because they had more sense now. Okay, they weren't going to hurt you like they did in the Great Depression. So when that happened, then savings and loans became banks, banks became savings and loans. So they tried to cross over. Well, banks didn't like splitting the pie. They just didn't have all the pie. So the goal was to get rid of the savings and loans. So later in years, after they went after the savings and loans, the Resolution Trust was formed. That was brought in to shut down the savings and loans and find the criminal acts. And I joined the RTC. And during the time, we put away about 1,000 executives with the savings and loans, and we took about 41 cents on the dollar. Literally closed them down, sold off their assets, and cleaned house. Well, when the banks too big to fail decided they needed a bailout, and just before that, I'd gone to work with the FDIC. So I experienced the FDIC in a fashion of shutting down banks in the South, hence the accent. So in the South, what I realized was the FDIC comes in if there's a failed institution, and they offer what's called a shared loss agreement. So we had a $300 million lawsuit that we were working on. But the FDIC was going to have to pay all $300 million on these bad loans that went bad to the bank that purchased a failed institution. Well, unfortunately, we came in, I was an expert, we analyzed the portfolio, realized everything they'd done wrong, and the FDIC said, what the heck, this is way too much work, and they settled out of court for $70 million. So you taxpayers picked up $230 million on that little deal back in the 80s you didn't know about. So when the TARP money came about, then immediately Paulson and several of them were told, hey, let's bring back the RTC. Let's shut down and investigate these banks. Well, Geithner and Paulson and Greenspan all, no way. We are not going to let you investigate what we did. So the RTC was not reenacted, but they agreed to check out their own stuff. They'd go in and clean their own house up, which we saw how that happened. What people didn't realize when they got the TARP money and all the hype was, don't worry, we're going to modify everyone's loans through this HAMP program. Well, it was great, except that when you read the actual TARP bill, it was only suggested that the banks do something. They were never told they had to do anything. So then the hype all came about with, oh, we're going to get principal reduction. Well, the wording of that one also said that it was elective if they wanted to participate. So there's little words that were in those bills that the bankers build in, because that's part of the backroom deals. They say, okay, go ahead, it sounds good on the media, check me out, but here's what's really happening behind closed doors. So they started doing a few modifications. Well, they had to do a token few. That's part of how bankers work, is that we'll step right up to the plate, we're going to approve a few token out there, and then we're going to put that in paper and say nobody else asked for it. So that's why we haven't done so many. So there's still money sitting there, but there's no sense in using it because no one's asked for a loan mod. Anyway, oh, it gets better. So, but what's happening today is that so many people are applying for these loan modifications. The banks, they have no incentive to do these. Your servicer, which we hope to go over in another seminar with you, can go into real detail as to why you're not getting a loan modification, why you're getting turned down for your loan mod. And get into the real nitty-gritty of what services they're doing, remit trusts are, how the banks literally built this house of cards. And it's gonna come down on them and it will crumble. But it's gonna take a long road to get that done. Because, like I said, they're very creative and they're very good at what they do. And they have all the people in all the right places in Washington to make sure they get it done. Along with what's happening, 80% of Congress, from what I understand, are lobbyists for the banks. So if you pay the right people, you pretty well get done what you want done. And bankers have always realized that one. Okay. One thing, just on a quick note, is that a lot of people come and talk to me, and they say, well, I'm not really affected. You know, I don't own a home, or I'm not in foreclosure, or I'm not delinquent on my loan. What we all need to realize is that everyone is affected. Even if you rent a home and you don't own a home, you will be affected. It has been the goal of the banks all along to do three things: control the money, which they do, control the interest rates, which they do, and control the land. And there's the biggest land grab in our history is going on right now. The latest thing that came out 2 days ago is Bank of America has agreed a pilot program of offering to allow homeowners to give a deed in lieu of, stay in their home, and rent it back to them.
3 years.
So they're going to set the rates on these rental properties. They are dumping millions of dollars of REOs to what they call their billionaires club all across Los Angeles, to where they can come in and they will set up real estate companies to actually control the rental market as well. So it's affecting everyone. It's not just affecting people that are in foreclosure at this point. So we all need to step up and start doing something about it. That's all. Thank you.
So anyway, we hope that this gives you folks a little better appreciation of what Occupy Santa Barbara and the Occupy movement worldwide is really about. And we're trying to get to real answers, to real solutions, because we all desire a fair and just society with opportunities for everybody to live their dreams. None of us have the exact answers, but collectively, we'll come up with the right answers and we'll do the right thing. I trust people in general. So I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Occupy Santa Barbara thanks you for being here this evening and sharing with us. We hope that our future events of this nature, that you'll come and join in. We meet every Wednesday night at 216 State Street at the Ani Gallery, and you are certainly invited to come there and join with us. It's at 6 p.m. And bring your thoughts, bring your issues, bring your questions. If you have problems and you don't know where to turn, come to Occupy. If we can help you, we will. That's why we're here. That's why Occupy exists. And it's only because of the collective consciousness of all of us here who know that things can be a lot better. And we'll make it better because we're here doing it. So thank you very much for being here. We love you.